When we got our schedule, it seemed like everyone scheduled us for their homecoming. So it was kind of just, we're used to it at that point.
The mentality that we had the previous year to that year, it was completely different. And we embraced that. We embraced being the underdog that year. Everywhere we went, nobody expected us to win. Nobody.
After having just 3 wins combined in the last 2 years, the Towson University football team was riding a 4-1 record, including wins over top 20 opponents Villanova and Richmond. The Towson offense, with future CAA Offensive Rookie of the Year Terrence West at running back, Grant Enders at quarterback, and 2 future 2011 All-CAA offensive linemen in Henry Glacken and Eric Pike. On the other side, future NFLers Frank Beltre, Ty Smith, and Jordan Dangerfield anchored a defense that allowed a paltry 17.2 points per contest. But on October 15, 2011, the Tigers hit the road to challenge Old Dominion, a team that was a combined 21-6 since revitalizing the program in 2009. A raucous crowd filled Foreman Field in Norfolk for homecoming, most of it cheering on the 5-1 Monarchs.
They're a really good football team, very well coached, some really good players, one of the greatest quarterbacks that's played FCS football in Tyler Hanke.
Besides the LSU game, it was probably overall the best. They had the best fans. They were right on top of us. The whole stadium was sold out.
The stage was set, both teams in the top 20, and a chance for the Tigers to stay tied for first place in the CAA. A back-and-forth battle commenced as West had 2 rushing touchdowns of over 47 yards each in the first quarter. Despite Dangerfield missing the game due to injury, the Towson defense held the Monarchs to 1 score on the first 4 drives to give Towson a 14-7 lead after 15 minutes.
We were doing a good job of kind of controlling the clock, and we were putting together these kind of long drives and really wearing them down a little bit on defense.
ODU turned the game around with 2 second-quarter long play touchdowns. DJ Sovin hit a 47-yard field goal in the half's final minutes as Towson trailed 21-17 at the break. Towson retook the lead with a 26-yard pass to Tyler Wharton in the third quarter, but ODU's deadly air attack got 2 more touchdowns for the home team as Towson trailed 35-23 into the fourth.
The second half is when we found ourselves needing to kind of score a little quicker because I think we were getting down, and so that's when we started opening up a little bit more, and we were throwing the ball to the outside and taking shots down the field more.
Towson grinded down the field to the ODU 8, but was stopped on a 4th and 3 run. Down 11 points with 7:34 left, the defense needed a big stop.
That's when the whole defense got together. And we just pretty much said, don't try to be special, do your job. That was the whole thing. Do your job, don't try to be special, just do your job.
The defense forced a 3-and-out as Towson got the ball back on its own 25. Enders drove down the field with 4 completions to Gerard Shepard, then scored on an 8-yard run with 3:13 left to pull Towson within 3. Shepard came through again, grabbing the onside kick from Sovin to get Towson the ball back. West got the Tigers into ODU territory, but 2 plays later, Enders was sacked and had his helmet pulled off, being pulled from the game. After a sack on backup quarterback Peter Athens, Towson called timeout with 1:20 left and a daunting 4th and 29.
They were all ready to take the field, and I looked at him and said, I'm good to go with my helmet. And he was like, looked at me and said, all right, let's do this one.
Everybody knew. It seemed like looking around in the huddle, from the offensive line guys to the running backs to the receivers, everyone. It seemed like we had laser focus, I would say, at that moment.
Tom Ryan, Dan Kennard, Grant, a couple of guys stood on the sideline, and we drew one up on the sideline at 4th and 29. And I told them that the 2 vertical routes, that after the ball was thrown, you were supposed to run through the guy that was covering you to get him out of the way like blockers.
4th and 29. Enders rolls to his left, looking downfield, gonna fire it, looking, caught. Tom Ryan at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, down at the 3-yard line, dives, touchdown Tigers!
I think it was Book. He did the cut block on the DN, and I just saw the guy disappear, and it was like to me it was like me and Grant made eye contact 30 yards down the field, and he just threw a perfect ball where I didn't really have to do much of anything. I just had to put my hands up and catch like a normal throw.
It was pretty wild, and then I just see Tom running down the sideline, and yeah, it was something out of a movie.
When Tom Ryan caught that ball, he had all of our hopes and dream, all of our trust in his hands. And when he shed that second tackler, I'm like, everybody started jumping, but I was like, I just started getting a bunch of goosebumps. And I'm like, we really did this. Like, we really did exactly what a few minutes ago sounded possible.
I had no doubt that Tom was going to make the catch. I had no idea he was going to run the rest of the way for a touchdown. Sometimes good turns into great.
Towson took a 39-35 lead, and the defense finished it, not allowing an ODU first down in the entire fourth quarter. Matt Morgan and Beltre each sacked the quarterback, with a Kenton Powell interception ending the game as Towson pulled off the victory. This win was vital to Towson's eventual 7-1 CAA record and the program's first ever CAA title, as the Tigers earned a trip to the FCS playoffs for the first time in school history.
Everyone was still kind of in shock that it happened. Everyone that was in on the play, to everyone on the sidelines, to coaches, to the cheerleaders and fans in the stand, everybody was completely shocked. Still, everybody was in awe.
Everybody believed all the way till the end that we were going to win this game. There was not a doubt throughout the whole game at all.
Watching a bunch of guys who had no reason to believe, but did. They bought in, they trained, they worked, they sweated, they held each other accountable to a degree that had not happened previously. They bought in completely and sold themselves 6 seconds at a time for as long as they possibly could for the success of themselves and the thing that they love.
When I talk about that year to buddies or anybody else, it all goes back to the Old Dominion game for sure, and that play. That's something we'll always remember.